All right, guys, we are back with our softball interview series with some of the hottest coaches in the softball world. We have a newly named head coach at Florida Southern University. That is Mo Triner. She is a legend in the softball world. She has not only grew up, in the Florida area, attending East Bay High School, right? And then going on to play an extraordinary Hall of Fame career at USF, playing in the pro leagues. Coach, I want to share something with you here that kind of is a surprise. I didn't tell you about this pre-interview, but we're going to show the world this. Look at that. That is shorts out at USF, rocking it right there. How was it to play in shorts, Coach? We don't really see that very much anymore.
You had to be tough to play in shorts. And it's funny because that picture we have high socks on for, I think it was my first 2 years we played with short socks on.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So sliding was tough. And you
were
a
hitter most of the time.
Right? You were a hitter. The way I understand it, you either owned at one point or still own or partially share at least 15 records at USF. So you led the team not only in pitching, but you were a base runner going 6 for 7 in your senior year, and leading the team in average and home runs your junior year. Like you were an all-around player, huh?
Hey, size is deceiving, but it's always great to be on the backside of a double steal.
There you go, right? So just to continue about your career, you went on, you played in what was the pro league at the time, went and coached at Virginia Tech, came back and coached at USF, coached the Puerto Rican national team, and now you take over from one of the NCAA softball legends in Coach Chris, and you are the newly appointed enshrined head coach of Florida Southern. How are you taking all of this in after the career that you've had, and now you're back home coaching at a school that you grew up not too far away from?
Honestly, it's an honor. It's an honor to be able to say I'm following in the footsteps of Coach Bellato. I've had some amazing coaches throughout my career help me as a player, help me learn as a coach. It's pretty cool to sit back and to look at how my career has developed over the years, and all the things that I've been able to do, and then the people that I've been surrounded by to be able to help me get to where I am. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Now, for those of you watching, you may notice today I've got a different hat on. I do have my Florida Southern hat on, and for those of you that know me, that's because my daughter is a student athlete at Florida Southern. She was a freshman this year and will continue on, and sophomore, junior, senior year. She loves Florida Southern, and as a parent and as a coach who's been in the Florida community for a long, long time, it wasn't up until a couple days before Jesse even committed to Florida Southern that I even knew that the school was there, right? I mean, you see the pictures when you're looking at Division II and all of that, but what the school actually was and where it's located is just, it was amazing when you step on campus and you realize, like, wow, look at this school right on the lake. Look at the architecture. Look at the brand new buildings. You guys, what was it, just this last season before last, opened a brand new multi-million-dollar, top-of-the-line softball facility. Talk a little bit about Florida Southern as a school. Talk about your program and the facility and kind of just what people may not know about that little gem of a university in Lakeland, Florida.
Well, I mean, I've learned a lot in the short amount of time that I've been here. It's with like what everyone says, it's a hidden gem. It really is. It's in Lakeland, Florida. It's right on Lake Hollingsworth. It's beautiful. We have about 3,500 plus students. I think it was founded in like 1883. Which is just a few years ago. I feel like that's when I played, but
I'll get out of here.
We have, over 70 academic programs. We have, big business program, nursing and health science. We have physical therapy. We have education. We have arts and sciences. We have all kinds of degrees, and the class sizes are really small, and which is what a lot of kids like. You know, the max size would be like 40, and but the average normally is about 18, which
Yeah.
is it's pretty cool. I mean, I think that there's a lot of interaction between the professors and the students, and when the kids walk around campus, they see the professors and they're saying hi to them and all that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of a more of a family atmosphere. We have one of the best stadiums, in my opinion, in the country.
Yeah.
I think that they did an amazing job when they built that stadium. It's Chris Bellato Field, and it's state of the art. We have some amazing people who put a lot of effort into making our facility as good as it is. And I mean, it's beautiful. Like, you have to go online.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that real quick. I'm going to share another screen because a lot of people, again, they just don't. If you don't take the time to look at these schools during your recruiting process, like, look at that. I mean, that is Florida Southern's softball facility. I mean, over here, I don't know if you can see the mouse on the screen, but this is the field house. Over
Mm-hmm.
here to the right, that's where, the indoor gymnasium is, where the girls are working out, getting their physical training to prepare for sports, as well as their rehab and conditioning. But just a beautiful, beautiful softball complex. If you've never been to Florida Southern or haven't looked it up before, certainly do that.
Keep it right there. I think like one of my favorite places in this whole stadium is on the berms right there on the first and third base side by the on deck circles right there, the little berm. You can just put up a chair, sit on the grass.
Yep.
I think that's like the coolest place right there to sit and to watch a game and to be engaged in it, because it's pretty special.
Yeah, having been there and watched my own kid play on that field, and the grass, it is soft, right? It is beautiful, and there's not a lot of bugs out there, and it's just a good place to go watch a game. And you get a lot of the residents from the local community that come in and watch it as well. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's pretty cool too, because when we get kids to come on campus and they want to take a little tour, we take them down to the softball field, and we always joke with them when we come in by there's a door right by the first base on deck circle, and we tell them, like, when you come on the field, make sure you wipe your feet. Don't bring the dirt on the field, because the grass looks like carpet. It's pretty amazing.
Gotcha. Now, one of the other unique things that I like about Florida Southern is I know you've got a few kids on the roster, my own daughter included, that are getting degrees in the medical department, whether it be nursing, whether it be medical laboratory scientists, whether it be biology. You're even though you're running a highly competitive softball program, the school finds a way to allow them to pursue their post softball degrees and what it is they want to do. How do you guys balance being able to let them pursue those professional degrees as well as be able to pursue their softball and work towards gaining and earning their scholarship?
Well, I think the biggest thing is understanding that it's academics first and then athletics comes second, because at the end of the day, after their years of playing ball are over, they're going to have a degree. They're going to have a career field set ready to go. And I feel like that's a big part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get these kids to understand that, go get your degrees, and when you're done with that, we're going to be ready to play ball, and
Right.
I feel like, we try to schedule around their class schedules as much as possible. And we have a couple kids who come late to practice, and then, they'll stay a little bit late and ask for extra later on, and I feel like our kids have been really kind of adapted well with, trying and understanding that we will stay after. And I mean, sometimes it's harder on the coaching staff because we're out there for hours and hours and hours, to make it to where they can take the classes that they need to take, or, maybe they have to miss a practice here and there to be able to go to an internship or to go to do some certain kind of lab or whatever. But we just we make it happen.
Gotcha. Well, that's good, because a lot of kids, they're sometimes forced to choose between a great academic program and being able to play softball. And I love the fact that you guys allow for both. So season ended early, right? It's your first season at Florida Southern. Coach Chris, prior to the season ending, had already announced her retirement. We knew that you were going to be taking over. How did the end of the season coming early did it affect your turnover? Did it affect, what kind of impact did that have on you guys as a program? How is it impacting your seniors? What is your feedback on the COVID-19 shutdown and the NCAA extra year of eligibility and things like that?
I mean, overall, it's heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching. My heart goes out to Coach Bellato because the fact that, she had announced this is her final season, and then to have it end like that. And, it's almost like not being able to say goodbye,
Right.
We weren't able to do the things that we wanted to do. We weren't able to celebrate her and the program that she's created that's given every single one of us an opportunity. So that was hard. It's hard to see, the seniors. We have a couple of seniors who are going on to master's programs and getting, their master's degrees at other schools, and they're not going to be able to come back. We have, one we're trying to see if we can work out the details of getting her back. But it just depends. I mean, you can't stop your life to, play another year when you've been setting your whole life up for your career. And then now, sometimes some people can and some people can't. And so that's the hard part. And we're going to try to figure out who can and who can't. And, the scholarship situation is not a bonus. Not every school is going to be able to financially afford to bring a lot of people back. So that's hard. And, you don't want people to think that you don't appreciate them, because you do.
Right.
But it's going to be a process, and we're going to have to, every kid's going to need a different kind of attention to figure out what we're going to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's been crazy. I know when I got the call and she called me and said, I think we have to come home. I think they're ending our season, and we got to pack up the dorm. It's just like, man, we were just getting started. And your season, it was up and down a little bit, but you just found a string of wins there, and then that was it, right?
Well, and it's kind of crazy because, we had been working for, so long and we were getting so close to being able to push through. And, I just felt like we hadn't found that piece yet. And then when we finally found it, I felt like we were starting to get on the right direction. I think the kids were really learning how to fight and to dig deep and find what really it meant to get a big win. I feel like we were starting to come around. And then I feel like it was like swept, the carpet was pulled right out from under our feet. I feel like we were getting to the point where we were about ready to, get people to understand that we are coming around. And I feel like, we're turning the program around, and we're going to do some good things, and it's just going to take some time.
Gotcha. So when you talk about turning the program around, like, okay, so now you're the boss, right? You are the head coach. And, while Florida Southern, a national championship in 1993 and some conference titles, and, but it's been a minute, right? So talk about kind of recruiting, right? Like, what you have a ton of playing experience. You've coached at Virginia Tech, you've coached at USF, you've played in the pro leagues. So a kid wants to play at Florida Southern. Like, what are you looking for out of that player? What does Coach Mo say? Yep, you know what? That kid's a Mock. That kid holds Mock spirit, and she's somebody that we want to play here. Not only just talent wise, but person, individual, family wise. What are your, I guess, minimums, and then up from there?
I think that one of the biggest things is, I like kids that are gritty and like, little scrappy kids that can do a little bit of everything. I don't want someone that's just going to say, oh, I can only do this. Like, I like kids who can play multiple positions. I like pitchers that can hit, as I was a pitcher that hit. I feel like that's a huge asset to a team, especially at our level. I feel like, and it's funny, I was listening to your talk with somebody else, and we talked about the families, and families are huge, because I feel like that's what we're trying to create. Our team is kind of like a family in itself, you know? So like when things are not going right, I want you to be able to come talk to us. I want you to be able to confide in us. I want you to feel like you have something outside of just your real family.
Right.
So I feel like that's a big thing. You know, I like to see kids hustle on and off the field. I like to see, you know, in between innings are huge. A lot of people kind of like, you know, misplay that and think that it's not downplay it, I think, because they think it's not a big deal. It is. That's the time where we can see you throw. That's the time we get to see you field. And, you know, some kids make these little crazy plays in between the innings. And I like that kind of stuff, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, you got to be flashy and show off, but it's one of those things where you have the ability to show what you can do. And I think that's key. I think camps are huge. We haven't had a lot of camps. We've had 2. We had one in November, one in January. We were planning on having a couple this summer to get people on campus and to really learn the coaching staff and really work with us, because I feel like when we work at camps and when we do these like individual, like these little clinics and stuff here and there, I feel like you get to understand how a kid can be coached, and you can understand, you know, if I tell this kid something, are they very resistant? Because, you know, sometimes when the kids are resistant, sometimes it's a good thing, but if they were resistant to the point where they don't want help or they don't want to try things, because I'm going to tell you right now, when I was a kid, like you tell me something, okay, let's try it. You know what? Because you might know better than me, you know? So it was always about experimental stuff and trying things and let me try this grip when I pitched, and let me try this leg drive, and let me try this landing, all kinds of different stuff. And I feel like the more that you can put that into it and the more you can see kids working with you at camps and stuff like that, I feel like it helps. I feel like, you know, the kids that, like, if they do something wrong, the kids that own it, I like that. I like that, you know, if you say, you know, like there's a piece of trash on the ground, you don't just walk by it, pick it up.
Right.
Or, you know, because I'm no better than anybody else. If I walk by past the ball laying on the ground, I will pick it up. And I don't expect them to come over and say, "Ooh, I'm sorry. No, I walk past it. I can pick it up, you know.
What about the kid that strikes out and just pouts back to the dugout or doesn't talk to her teammate on deck to let her know what she's seen? Like does that motivate you to kind of want to pick that kid up?
No, I don't like the kid that takes it to extreme, but I have to remember also is I understand the frustration in that kid,
Right.
because I was once that kid, and I had to learn how to deal, and I had to learn that wasn't okay, and that wasn't getting me anywhere, and it wasn't getting my team anywhere. So,
Right.
you know, I know that it sounds kind of crazy but I think that kids like that can be helped.
Right.
And trained and understand, because I was that kid. Like I used to get pissed when I struck out, and, you know, if somebody got a hit off me, it was like, you know, it was like the end of the world to me in my mind.
So you see it more as passion than pouting.
It depends. Like there's, you know, the ones that, you know, you have, I mean, there's different scenarios, but I don't feel like you can judge all of them. I feel like there are some kids that can be little punks, but then I think there are other kids who really are passionate about it, and they get frustrated in themselves because they know they're better than that.
Sure.
So I think that they need to be taught in kind of a better manner, rather than getting mad at them and yelling at them and, you know, telling them that they're wrong. They just don't know how to channel it yet because
Right.
they're young. I mean, I didn't learn how to channel it until I was about 17.
Coach, I'm still working on it.
Well, me too, but still.
I'm still working on it. I'm good most days, but you know, we all have our moments, right?
Right.
So
an extreme case, yeah, I know it's not beneficial to the team. So you kind of gotta back off on those kind of kids.
So what's your plan? I guess I know you guys are just figuring it out, right? You're a couple weeks into being head coach there, and
it doesn't start till June 1st.
Oh, well, there you go, right? So you haven't even taken a locker room or a classroom session with your team yet, but you know, are you looking to recruit more Florida stuff, more national stuff? I know, you know, on the team now you have kids from Tennessee, North Carolina, all over the country. I know Florida Southern has brought kids in from out of state, but you also have a good amount of talent and student athletes from Florida as well. So, having been at the Division I level, like kind of where do you see yourself sending your staff to recruit?
We're definitely going to get out there. We're definitely going to try to get some of the big tournaments, just to put us out there so people know who we are. And, I don't think you limit yourself to a certain area. I feel like, if there's a kid that really wants to come and they're really good, then it's definitely, we're going to look at them and take a hard look at them. But I feel like we have to get out there. We have to be seen. People need to know who we are. And then, we're going to, we'll go to New Jersey, we'll go to Pennsylvania, we'll go Atlanta, Tennessee, Colorado. We'll go to these places, but I feel like, we need to, have a plan, which is what we're kind of doing right now, is trying to put together a plan of what do we need over the next few years, kind of see what we have, already verbaled and committed and those kind of things, and then kind of play out from there. Because, just because a kid could be from another state doesn't mean that we won't look at them.
Sure.
And we're not only going to look at the Florida kids, because, sometimes these kids in Florida play with each other so much that they get tired of playing with each other. So then a kid may not come to a school because another kid that they played with is there.
Right. Comfortable.
What I mean? But yeah, so I feel like, always having a fresh outlook and a fresh kind of mindset with things, I think is kind of a fun atmosphere.
So obviously you're up on the website, your email address is up there. Are you starting to receive this email communication during this town time of kids trying to draw your attention and trying to get in touch with you as the head coach now? And what's your preferred method of communication? Do you look at skills videos? Are you a video person? Do you like to look at the video in the beginning and then obviously go out and see the kid in person? Like, how important is that initial, what can a kid do to kind of stand out to Coach Mo and have her say, man, I really got to go look at this kid?
Yeah, we're definitely getting bombarded by emails. I think that this downtime for a lot of people makes them feel like we have nothing better to do but read emails. But because I think every kid from the class of 2020 to the class of 2026 is out emailing right now.
26, good Lord.
We've gotten some very young kids to email us. But, and the thing that people need to understand too is right now is a hard time because we're trying to figure out what's going to happen next year, and I feel like I don't want people to think that we're not emailing back. And we have a lot of young kids emailing that we can't even email back. So sure. I think that that's hard, and I don't want people to get discouraged because they send an email and they didn't hear back. Well, we're getting thousands of emails. Like my mailbox is full. I can't even send an email until I get rid of some of emails.
Got to empty it out. You're filled up your gigabytes.
Yeah. So it's just a process right now. I feel like we get emails, and videos are awesome because they kind of like let us know where you're at and let us know kind of like, do we need a kid that's an outfielder that, only plays outfielder? Do we need a kid that plays, and you can show those things in videos. I think that the videos are huge. And for us, a lot of like the connections with the travel ball coaches are huge. I've been around a long time. I have a lot of friends that are in the travel ball organizations, and
yep.
and that's good too, because I can reach out and say, hey, I need this. And then sometimes people like you have connections with everyone. So I feel like, those, I feel like those kind of things are good because you don't only push your kids, you push other kids too. So I feel like that's a good asset for us as college coaches. I feel like just the whole, just emailing, going to camps, and, we try to make a list, of the tournaments we're going to go to. And then when kids email us, we'll write down, okay, this kid's going to be at this tournament. And as many kids as we can see at that tournament, we're try to get to.
Right. Yeah. So, that's a good point. When you show up to one of these events, are you the kind that maps out, if at 8 to 8:30, I'm going to watch this field during this inning, or are you kind of just looking around and listening and figuring out what stands out, or a little bit of both? Kind of what is your game plan for when you show up at the event?
Most of the time I'm a planner. I try to have a schedule of who I'm going to see and what games, and then if I watch a kid that I really like and I didn't have them scheduled for later in the afternoon, I'll rechange my schedule and, to make it work. Just because, sometimes you need to see kids multiple times, or maybe I didn't get to see a kid bat and I want to see her hit. Maybe it was a 3-inning game and she didn't get to hit. I don't know. Or maybe she got walked. So you want to take extra opportunities. And then sometimes you talk with other, coaches, and they'll throw a name out there like, okay, you like this kid, but she's getting looked at by, so many schools, and this other one is not getting very many looks, and she's the same kind of kid. So we kind of adapt to it and try to figure things out.
Gotcha. Just make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so just a couple more questions for you. Obviously, Southern is a private school, right? So how does academics play into, right? Test scores, bright futures, and all these different combinations of things that you can do to build a kid a good scholarship package. So how do you guys weigh academics when you're looking at a kid?
Academics are huge for us because, Florida Southern gives out a lot of academic money, and which can kind of help the athletics on our side of it for scholarship dollars. So, but, if you can, we have a presidential scholarship at Florida Southern that if you can, if you have a, I think it's a 4.0 and over like a 33, you can, on an ACT, you can get your schooling paid for.
Right.
So all those kids call us. So that's huge. Academic money helps out the athletics a lot. We can kind of, piece together a very good offer because of the academic side of things. Bright Futures adds to it. Florida Prepaid adds to it. All that kind of stuff is going to be bonus for us on the football side.
Just makes it that, with the limit in and I know I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're a fully funded Division II institution. You're not? Okay. Well, then good. I'm glad I brought it up, right? So how many scholarships do you get? You get what? 6. Okay. Well, all right. There you go. So academics are even more important, right?
Yes. So we have to piece it together and try to figure out what's the best for us, which in turn turns into the best possible thing we could give to the student athletes.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. So let's close it up with something fun. We went over your history, right? But tell us something about Coach Mo that no one else knows, and you can't talk about your cute puppy, right? Because we all see that.
I have two.
Two. There you go. So tell us something unique about Coach Mo that the Florida, Southeast, whole country, because they're all going to be looking at this softball world, wants to know.
There's a couple things about me.
All right.
I know that some people around here know, but I don't know if people around the country know. But there's my Little League field is named after me.
Oh,
that's one thing.
So you also have a field named after you.
I do.
The legacy continues.
And let's see.
And where's that at? Where's that field at?
It's in Gibsonton. It's at East Bay Youth League now, I think.
Okay.
It used to be East Bay Little League, and they've changed it to like Youth Parks or something. I don't know.
Sure. Sweet.
And then a couple other things about me that most people don't know. I'm pretty crafty. I have a Cricut, and I like to make shirts and stuff like that.
All right.
I also make parachute cord bracelets.
Cool.
So when I'm kind of stressed, I kind of use those as like little stress relievers.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I do that some people know about me, but is I like to make like Snapchat videos.
Okay.
And then I'll save them, or either Snapchat or Talking Tom or one of those, My Pet, whatever.
You have a TikTok channel?
Oh, no, I don't do TikTok. No TikTok. But I do make videos, but I save them, and then I go back and rewatch them, and I laugh at them. So.
And this is just personal, and you don't share them?
Well, sometimes I do, but some of them are probably I don't know that they're
No,
the
your
most.
team is going to see this now, and they're all going to want to see the videos.
I can show them some of them. Some of them I might send to them, like, the little bunny rabbit and waving. Yeah,
That's
send
fun.
those. And but yeah, I'd
Those,
like to have a
those
good
hidden
time.
Snapchat videos. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love to have a good time. I enjoy laughing and really just being funny.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, obviously I had met you before you got to Florida Southern. We had a couple in passing conversations. We've certainly had quite a few more since you've gotten there. And, my kid, on a personal note, just can't say enough good stuff about you. She's enjoyed learning from you and having you make an impact on the team. And in the short time that you've been working with her, you've certainly made an impact on her. So, as a parent, putting my dad hat on now, it's exciting for me to know that my kid feels so comfortable at the school, that she enjoys talking to you, that she said just that you're a no nonsense but love to kick back and have a good time kind of person. Outside the lines, you're level headed throughout, but outside the lines, you like to have a lot of fun just as much as inside, but when you're inside, you certainly want to be about business for those 7 innings. And I got to see a little bit of fire going into the circle from you this year as well during a couple games. So
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the being able to know when to flip that switch and to be able to have a good time and to be able to joke. But then when it's time to play ball, it's time to play ball. And I feel like, I think the girls understood that. There are times we'd be, goofing off in between inning, but as soon as that pitcher had the ball in her hand, it was, game face, poker face is on. So I feel like it's fun, and I really enjoy the kids, and I couldn't be more thankful to Coach Bellato for giving me the opportunity. So
right.
Thank you.
Well, very cool. Very cool. I'm excited to see you put your footprint on the program and watch it grow over the years and continue to make an impact in Florida, in the conference and beyond. So I appreciate your time, Coach. Anything else you want to add? Any last remarks?
I do. I think that, I just appreciate, Florida Southern and for what they've, been doing through this whole process of the coronavirus and stuff. And, like our kids have been awesome. Our other assistant, Gianni, has been amazing. And it's been fun. It's been, really kind of a crazy experience to be working from home and to do this. But people really need to understand that this is bigger than sports itself, because I know a lot of people are like, come on, bring it back, but it's bigger than sports. I think it's more about being a good human being and understanding that it's not always about us individually. It's about what's happening in the world and what's going to be happening to other people. I feel like we need to keep that in perspective.
Got it. Very cool. All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Go Mocs, right? And I mean that not just as the interviewer, but as in a personal way as well. So thank you for your time, Coach. I appreciate it. And we will talk to you soon and see you on the field.
All right. Thank you very much.